And so we actually met the other night at Mount Diablo on the Unitarian Universalist Church, the very first night of our march, and you've mentioned kind of your faith and your spiritual community a couple times, and I wonder if you can just talk about your faith community and what that means to you.
It means a lot. I think I wouldn't be here without them. They've been in an environment of people who have strong values, and we can talk about our values and we can develop them and talk and really find out what does it mean to one, have value, but then also then to turn that into action. And Prop 8 is the biggest thing that has hit the church in the 10 years that I've been there. I'd say even bigger than our building campaign in terms of really a unifying force to go forward and to do something and to try to make a difference in people's lives. Our own and others, being a liberal progressive church that is a designated welcoming congregation. We've been that way for, gosh, probably 25 plus years to gay, lesbian, queer, transgender, and we've been doing same-sex commitment ceremonies since the 80s. So it was really an important thing, though, to stand for that, and also realize that most of the people doing the work for justice are the allies. We do have communities, people coming in with their partners and with their children, and people coming in as families, because families need a place to go, of all kinds, and people are looking for a religious, spiritual home. There are unfortunately not that many options, and so I'm really glad that the Unitarian Universalist Church is a place where people can come home for the first time.
And so I just want to find out a little bit more about your story, your role in that church, and I wonder, kind of a two-part question.
Sure.
As a Republican with a lot of these really progressive values, I wonder if, first off, in your faith community, do you have many other Republicans participating in that faith community with you? And then my second part is, within the communities that you do this sort of activism or marching with, do you generally feel that people are kind of open and welcoming to you as a Republican?
I'd sit there and say, but it's not something that, I don't think that the, Republican DAR shows up. Mm-hmm. And it probably isn't, as much of an issue. So in one sense, you could say a little bit, closeted or just sort of a non-issue. So much as people just look at me, not realizing, hey, well, he's a person of color or he's biracial. Well, maybe people just say, okay, this person can't figure it out, whatever. It's sort of not an issue. So I think at one part it did come up, and I think the other thing, if anything, does come up, people can look at me and we can, disagree about various other things, but realize that I'm here and I'm marching with them, and I think that really says a lot that I'm here and I'm marching. People didn't expect me to be here, and they're very glad. So I think we're able to sort of see past those things to the real issues, the real people.
Do you have any more thoughts about the day or the march that you want to share?
One thing I just want to share is that one of the reasons why I'm doing this is really for me. I think this is part of my spiritual work in the witness. In terms of the larger thing, is this going to change the minds of the justices? I don't think so. Will it change the mind of some Californians? Me walking personally out here and all this, probably not a whole lot, but it's part of the long arc towards justice and equality, and we may not get it with the justices, but I'm actually okay with that, because I think then if we don't do that, we'll go back to the voters, and we'll go back to the voters, and we'll go back to the voters until we get it, and then it'll be the populace of California saying, no, we are going to stand on the side of righteousness and the side of justice, and heck with what 9 justices say.
you just raised, I think, a really interesting point too about this march. We say that we're calling on the California Supreme Court to overturn Prop 8, and you kind of raised the point that maybe this sort of thing doesn't really speak to or help the justices change their mind. And so I wonder, like, what do you think the real value of a march like this is?
I think the real value of it, in one sense, is the same reason why Mormons go on missions. They're not there to convert. They're there for themselves. It's the own spiritual work that we do to do this. And the other thing that's cool, around the march though, is that there's a whole lot of organizing that happens. That's the real work. The organizing and talking to people and reaching out and building coalitions and flyering and leafletting and see people. And have people say, hey, we support the fact that you're out marching to Sacramento, and we think that that's so cool, and thank you. And to reach out, and then for people to say, hey, we're people too. And that we're not just some strange other, and we're gay and straight and queer together, and we're hoping for a better world.
Thanks so much, brother.
Thank you.